The smartphone. A consumer communications device of science fiction style awesomeness. It combines so many communications, media, and entertainment forms in one place, including a computer. It's also many things at once, and they are all available in the palm of your hand instantly. However, they may have also ensnared one other important thing inside these impressive little handsets: the human ego. I've spoken a great deal about the dangers of Facebook and social media, specifically how it devalues and replaces real face-to-face human interaction, leads to social isolation and depression. To briefly recap, a growing phenomenon is Facebook envy, which studies have demonstrated is born out of the fact that users tend to display only one side of themselves online, which is to say an unrealistically positive and overly happy side. They upload pictures of things like holidays, nights out with friends, birthdays, etc., and they tend to omit the less glamorous side of their lives. A person's Facebook account is a kind of virtual measurement of their social capital and success, and this is quantified and broadcast to the world through the number of friends they have, their achievements, their photographs, and their witty, clever, and obnoxiously upbeat status updates. Facebook envy emerges because users spend an enormous amount of time simply browsing other people's Facebook profiles and comparing and contrasting their social media capital. Users tend to overestimate the happiness of other people, and therefore, Facebook can become a depressing place to visit sometimes, and there is a growing body of evidence to support this. One alarming finding is that addicted users tend to experience a similar high in their brain when receiving notifications as a gambler does when they place a bet. Additionally, I've also spoken about smartphone addiction, and I'll include a link to that video and the Facebook videos in the description below. Smartphone addiction is particularly worrying, and it ties directly into the topic of this video. That compulsion you get to check your text messages, emails, or social media accounts is very common, and a quick glance around in a social setting like a restaurant, park, or pub, and you'll soon be made aware that it's reached epidemic levels. People seem to be talking to each other less and communicating with each other through their devices instead. I'd need several pairs of hands to count how many times I've seen a couple sitting across from each other in a restaurant, engrossed in their phones, talking to each other and their friends on Facebook. It's not just that smartphones provide us with a means by which to entertain ourselves, conduct work, find out about what's happening in the world, or communicate with others and reach our friends and family. It's when you combine social media into the mix, you've got something entirely more sinister. A means by which users can not only escape reality into an emotionally and mentally detached observation mode that removes them from the moment, but one in which they can focus entirely on themselves and seek the validation of others to reinforce their insecurities and replace real communication with likes, shares, pins, tweets, retweets, comments, friend invites, and tags. To put it bluntly, the smartphone is all about the individual, all about checking in to see what others are saying about me. We all know someone who indulges in this behavior, people who second screen in front of the television, which has got to take its toll on concentration levels. People whose attention spans drift off mid-conversation to compulsively reach for their phone, often for no good reason. I've heard plenty of stories of marriages and relationships being affected by this behavior. I personally find it a repulsive and sickening development that so many people attend things like concerts or sports events to do nothing more than take and upload pictures and tweet about how great a time they're having, when in truth, they are simply not fully invested or engaged with the spectacle at all. It seems smartphones make people spectators and not participants in their own lives, as the moment becomes something to merely document and not truly experience. For example, at concerts or even at your child's school play, you may see people holding up their phone to record the event. This is not the same as watching the event unfold. It's the belief that if you can't provide proof that something happened and it's not recorded online or on your smartphone, then it's as good as a fantasy or a dream. How delightfully postmodern. Hell, people can't help themselves from checking their phone even in the cinema, at a wedding, or in funerals. But more than that, I find it most troubling in terms of what smartphones do to friendships. With the advent of social media, the word friend has become a grey area. These devices allow people to consolidate their friends into numbers, email addresses, and virtual friends, all in one convenient place in the palm of their hands. You know, it's ironic. Chat forums were designed to allow like-minded people to develop friendships not just online but also in the real world. And now technology seems to be allowing us to keep people at a distance and turn real-world friendships into virtual ones. By keeping people at a distance, a user is able to dip in and out of friendships, ramp up and down the intensity of them, and exert greater control of the dynamics of how people impact on their lives. In short, people don't have to commit emotionally and physically to a friendship in a meaningful way anymore. Smartphones provide an out for them to effectively manage the depth of their relationships. Face-to-face interaction in a social setting seems to be a secondary means by which to communicate. It's become a shallow veneer of what it once was. Now, I know what many of you may be thinking. Dave, smartphones and tablet computers are a great way of getting work done and the best way of managing our busy lives. But as Sherry Turkle said in her fabulous video Alone Together, computers, and in this case smartphones, are keeping us busy, not the other way around. It seems the more technology we add into our lives, the less time and energy we actually have for each other. The more stress we introduce, the more complexity, and the more demands on our attention and focus to keep up with the latest trends and stay connected. You can't tell me life is now better because of these devices. Although mobile phones are great for emergencies, they have become an almost bionic prosthetic designed to augment reality and in doing so, remove us from it. And so guys, I will throw this discussion over to you. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. Looking forward to your comments, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.